Good evening everybody and welcome this evening to BYU TV. I'm here tonight to interview Adela Saltz, who hails from Leduc in Alberta, and we're going to be talking about all things backyard ultra. Well, thanks for joining us tonight, Adela. First things first, you don't sound very Canadian at all, so what's that all about? Tell me about your roots. I actually grew up in a place called Stoke-on-Trent in England. I moved to Canada around about 10 years ago. My husband got a job over here and we initially moved to Calgary, but then further job changes as time went on meant that I moved to here in Leduc, which is just south of Edmonton. So, did you start running when you moved to Alberta, or did you start much further back than that? Well, I actually started running when I was about 10 years old and I was still at school. We did the school sports day and I ended up winning an 800 metre race, and that's where my running career started, I suppose. I used to be predominantly into marathons. I've always been a much better long distance runner rather than those short fast events, and yeah, I kind of absolutely loved the marathon distance back in those days. Oh right, so you've been running for quite a long time then. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking? I'm actually 49 years old and I turn 50 next year. And what about ultra running? What got you into that? Well, as I say, I ran a 2-hour 47 marathon back in London back in 2007, and that drew the attention of the UK Athletics ultra distance coach, and he asked me if I would be interested in trying to qualify to represent Great Britain on at the 100k. I went on to run a 35-mile race, which I won in around about 4 hours, and that was enough to get me onto the British team. And from there, I think I represented Great Britain and Northern Ireland 5 or 6 times. Both at the 100k, the 50k and on the trails, and I actually got a 100k PR of 7 hours 54, I think it was. Great memories, and yeah, that's kind of what got me into the ultra running. Ah right, so you've obviously done lots of races over the years, but what's been your most favourite event, or perhaps your most major accomplishment? You know, that's always a really difficult question. I have done a lot of races. You know, running my first 5k when I broke 19 minutes, that was like, I was absolutely over the moon with that. Winning the Mogollon Monster, that was at the time, that was the 100-miler. That was a very tough technical race, and just winning that was just like a bit mind-blowing. Making the British team, obviously there's nothing nicer than representing your country and even carrying the flag at the flag parade. But you know, it's also about seeing other people's achievements. The running community, as I say, globally is absolutely fantastic, and just seeing those beginners or friends or family that are going out there and they are achieving their goals, that to me is also memorable occasions, and I've seen that raw emotion of other people's achievements as much as experiencing that raw emotion myself. So the backyard ultra is somewhat different than your traditional ultra. What appeals to you about the event, and how do you prepare for it? Yeah, I mean, I've done 2 backyard ultras now, and the first one was when I represented Team Canada at Big's Backyard Ultra Satellite World Championships back in 2020. I had no idea what I was doing, I didn't know whether I'd be able to get any sleep, I wasn't sure how to fuel for it. I was curious as to how far I could actually run, and I think it was all those unknowns that made it so appealing to me, the challenge of the unknown and stepping out of my comfort zone. In terms of preparation, I spend a lot of time obviously doing different length of runs, running loops, not necessarily every hour on the hour, but certainly running loops around various courses here in Leduc, and just making sure my fueling strategy's there, trying to make sure my food's digested so that I don't get those gastrointestinal problems that I normally have during ultras. And then of course you have to prepare yourself mentally as well. One of the things I do is talk to myself quite a lot, which I find really beneficial. And do you have somebody crewing you, or are you completely solo? Well, my husband's been crewing me for the past several years when I've been doing ultras. Absolutely fantastic. He knows my needs. He knows when I'm on a low, when to pick me up. He knows what kind of foods I'm going to need when I'm start to say no, I don't want any more. But yes, crew is always there if I can get crew. I do have crew. I have done races solo in the past, but having a crew there is vital sometimes. So there's a potential that the Backyard Ultra could go on for days. What's your goal for it this time? Well, last time I ran 36 yards. In hindsight, I obviously think, I could have gone further. It's definitely a team event, and Team Canada this time has a lot of strength and depth there. My goal, if everything goes to plan, is to reach 40 hours or more, or 40 yards or more. So that's my goal, and that's what I'm going for. And is there anything specific that you eat during the race? You know, I'll just tend to eat anything. I mean, there's the usual things like pasta, mashed potatoes. I try and get some chicken inside of me, different proteins and things. I've had friends bringing me pizza, donuts, you know, Timbits are absolutely fantastic. I can munch through a whole box of Timbits during these races. But in all honesty, there's nothing specific that I have. I just try and take a whole selection of foods with me, and then it really depends on what my needs are on the day and if we can cater for them. If not, somebody usually runs off and gets it from a local cafe or supermarket or whatever, but otherwise I usually have it there with me. So when the Backyard Ultra is all over and you're finally DNF, or you're that last person standing, what's your go-to meal? What's your favourite treat when you finally finish? You know, you eat so much crap during these races, and yet it's quite funny that the thing I crave most when I finish is junk food. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with the term the full Monty, but in the UK it's a big fry up: sausage, bacon, fried egg, black pudding, baked beans, tomatoes, you name it, it's on there. And if I can get one of those the day after the race or on the day of the race with a hot cup of tea, I'm a happy girl. And finally, what appeals to you most about the World Championship Backyard Ultra? What draws you to this event? I think for me it's the team element of it. When you're doing it solo, when you're doing the normal backyard format, it's all about trying to outwit your opponent. It's about trying to run them into the ground. When it's the Backyard World Championship, it is that team effort. You're not there to knock each other down, you're there to big each other up, no pun intended there, to keep pushing, to keep going as far and as long as possible. And it's that team camaraderie, it's that team support that just makes me proud to be running for Team Canada. Okay, just one last thing before we go, just a quick fire question round. 1 word answers, 3 seconds per question. Are you ready? I'm ready. Day or night? Night, I'm a vampire. Eat or sleep? Sleep, I need my beauty sleep. Run or walk? Run, you get there quicker. Start or finish a loop? Finish the loop. Water or energy drink? Water. It's a source of life. Sweet or salty? Salty. That's my name. Alone or in a group? Solo. Alone. I love teams though. Music or chat? Neither. I just like peace and quiet sometimes. Bag or belt? Neither. I hate carrying things. Watch or no watch? Watch, I'm obsessed. Sunshine or rain? Either or, the weather is a beautiful thing. Hot or cold? Cold. I love the winter months. Uphill or downhill? Downhill. I love being reckless. And road or trail? Trail, definitely. No hesitation. Well, thanks again for joining us tonight on BYU TV. I hope that you've got to know Adela Salt a little bit better, and all that remains is to wish the Canadian team all the very best of luck in October.